Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Withdraw money by writing a check. A written order directing a bank to pay money. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. Withdraw money by writing a check. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Try to learn someone's opinions and intentions. Trace. Announce one's departure from a hotel. Record, add up, and receive payment for items purchased. A written order directing a bank to pay money. An appraisal of the state of affairs. A check on its dependability under stress. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. These stories don't check. Make cracks or chinks in. The heat checked the paint. A mark left after a small piece has been chopped or broken off of something. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Check the brakes. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. The state of inactivity following an interruption. Held them in check. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Slow the growth or development of. A written order directing a bank to pay money. He paid all his bills by check. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Mark into squares or draw squares on. Draw crossed lines on. Additional proof that something that was believed, some fact or hypothesis or theory, is correct. A mark indicating that something has been noted or completed, etc. As he called the roll, he put a check mark by each student's name. The act of inspecting or verifying. They made a check of their equipment. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. The bill in a restaurant. He asked the waiter for the check. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Please check each name on the list. Be compatible, similar or consistent. Coincide in their characteristics. The handwriting checks with the signature on the check. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. The act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Abandon the intended prey, turn, and pursue an inferior prey. Arrest the motion of something abruptly. He checked the flow of water by shutting off the main valve. A textile pattern of squares or crossed lines, resembling a checkerboard. She wore a skirt with checks. Block or impede, a player from the opposing team, in ice hockey. Chess, a direct attack on an opponent's king. Consign for shipment on a vehicle. Check your luggage before boarding. Decline to initiate betting. Hand over something to somebody as for temporary safekeeping. Make an examination or investigation. Check into the rumor. Obstructing an opponent in ice hockey. Place into check. He checked my kings. Stop for a moment, as if out of uncertainty or caution. She checked for an instant and missed a step. Stop in a chase, especially when scent is lost. The dog checked. Verify by consulting a source or authority. Check the spelling of this word. Write out a check on a bank account. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker, in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove, a commodity, from, a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. Remove by drawing or pulling. Remove, a commodity, from a supply source. Take out of a literary work in order to cite or copy. Buy and consume food from a restaurant or establishment that sells prepared food. We'll take out pizza, since I am too tired to cook. Purchase prepared food to be eaten at home. Remove from its packing. Remove, usually with some force or effort, also used in an abstract sense. Take out a splinter. Take out or remove. Take out the chicken after adding the vegetables. Cause to leave. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Make a date. Remove, a commodity, from a supply source. Prevent from being included or considered or accepted. Take liquid out of a container or well. Obtain by legal or official process. Take out a license. Remove something from a container or an enclosed space. Break from a meeting or gathering. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. This machine withdraws heat from the environment. Cause to be returned. Lose interest. Retire gracefully. Pull back or move away or backward. Keep away from others. Take back what one has said. Make a retreat from an earlier commitment or activity. Withdraw from active participation. Release from something that holds fast, connects, or entangles. Remove, a commodity, from a supply source. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. A large and hurried swallow. The act of moving a load by drawing or pulling. A preliminary sketch of a design or picture. Compulsory military service. A serving of drink, usually alcoholic, drawn from a keg. They served beer on draft. A dose of liquid medicine. He took a sleeping draught. Draw up an outline or sketch for something. Draft a speech. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. Engage somebody to enter the army. Any of the various versions in the development of a written work. A preliminary draft. Make a blueprint of. The depth of a vessel's keel below the surface, especially when loaded. A current of air, usually coming into a chimney or room or vehicle. A regulator for controlling the flow of air in a fireplace. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. A check that has been signed but with the amount payable left blank. A check issued by the officer of a bank on the bank's own account, not that of a private person. Cashier's checks are as good as cash. A check issued by the officer of a bank on the bank's own account, not that of a private person. A check containing certification that the person who issued the check has sufficient funds on deposit to cover payment. A check containing certification that the person who issued the check has sufficient funds on deposit to cover payment. A blank check provided by a bank for the convenience of customers who are making withdrawals. A check given by the British government to someone who is unemployed. It can be cashed either at a bank or at the post office. A British financial system in which a bank or a post office transfers money from one account to another when they receive authorization to do so. A check given by the British government to someone who is unemployed. It can be cashed either at a bank or at the post office. A bank check drawn on insufficient funds at another bank in order to take advantage of the float. A bank check that has been fraudulently altered to increase its face value. Any of several small graceful hawks of the family Accipitridae having long pointed wings and feeding on insects and small animals. Fly a kite. They kited the Red Dragon model. Get credit or money by using a bad check. The businessman kited millions of dollars. Increase the amount of a check fraudulently. He kited many checks. Plaything consisting of a light frame covered with tissue paper, flown in wind at end of a string. Soar or fly like a kite. The pilot kited for a long time over the mountains. A check reimbursing an aged person for the expenses of healthcare. A check reimbursing an aged person for the expenses of healthcare. A check issued in payment of wages or salary. A check issued in payment of wages or salary. A check drawn against funds deposited in your personal checking account. A check drawn against funds deposited in your personal checking account. A check issued by the officer of a bank on the bank's own account, not that of a private person. A check issued by the officer of a bank on the bank's own account, not that of a private person. A check that is dishonored on presentation because of insufficient funds. Issuing a bad check is a form of larceny. A check that is dishonored on presentation because of insufficient funds. Freedom to do as you see fit. A check that has been signed but with the amount payable left blank.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.